Well, I don't know about the 3 Amigos, but we definitely got the 3 KPOs. So these are in, and I'm going to do a repair on each one of these to try and get them going. Mate of mine, Dave, you've probably heard me speaking to him. He's been having terrible mic problems with his radio, and it's really quiet or whatever, and he always runs these, and he always gets out really well. But he's just had a nightmare, so I'm going to see if I can sort him out, get him done. This one here, he's put on here, doesn't key up, no battery. I don't know, we'll have to have a look at that one. This one here, not sure what's up with that one. And then same again with this one here. So we'll start on the one that's not in the box. Says old mic on the back. These are the NM532 version. They take a 9-volt battery in the back, which fits in the little holder here. I did look up on the internet to see about if there was any information on this board, and there isn't. There's also a screw missing out of here. It looks like someone's been in. So let's get this other screw out. We'll pop this out first of all, check the board over, make sure we haven't got any dodgy joints, and then we'll carry on from there. Right, we'll give this a good dousing of IPA, clean all the board off so we can see what's going on. Using my best toothbrush. Yeah, a fair bit of crud and crap come off of there. Right, so now that's clean. Let's get the lid back on here before I spill it. Let me get my eye loop and I'll go over all the joints on here first, and we'll just check that we've got all good solder joints, no solder bridges or dry joints. I've popped the board out. There's 5 capacitors in there, but none of them look like they've been circumcised, so they all still look good. All the resistors look okay, no signs of burning in there. So while I'm in here, I'm going to get the switch cleaner and I'm going to clean the slider and also the mic switch. Then we'll put this back together. There was 3 screws holding this board in, the 2 that hold the metal bracket in, and then there's one up the top. I'm going to replace the screw that was up the top and use that to hold this metal bracket in, because you cannot have a piece of metal sliding around inside the mic, because it could be shorting out on things, so we need to stop that first of all. The other thing I want to do while I've got this apart, the slide switch at the top here was really dirty. I can feel that now. I mean, I can move that with just like one finger now, but it was really stiff before. So that needed cleaning. And I've cleaned the mic switch as well, but I want to check the battery terminal connections from the actual connector itself all the way up the lead to where it connects to the board, because these clips can quite often go dodgy actually inside the little black bit here, and you'll never know. So I'm just going to do a continuity test to make sure firstly that we've actually got power going to the board. Yeah, the red lead is okay. So where does the black lead go to? Up there. Yep, so that PP9 connector is still okay. Right, I'll get this thing back together now. We'll put the battery in and we'll fire it up. Well, that's a bit of a faff, but look, I've got the mic thing in, so let's put it on my mic tester. See what the state of play is with this one. A lot of feedback. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Sounded like it cut out briefly then. I think we'll have a look in this end. See what's going on down on the plug socket. Right, let's do that. Let me get this apart. Yeah, I'm not happy with some of the connections on the end of here. So what we'll do is we'll probably cut the lead and redo the connections down the bottom here. Some of them have got really dodgy solder on them. They might be making a connection because obviously it is working, but I'm not sure and thinking that's the best connection possible. So let me quickly refit the plug. I've got to note down the wiring on this and then we'll go from there. I need to get this sleeve on for the clamp that holds it on, and it is really tight. So I think what we're going to do is going to use a bit of the old washing up liquid, see if we can force that down the shaft a bit, if I can get some on my finger. And I can't. What's none coming out? Probably loads come out now. Yeah, it has. Always the way. Alright, let's put a bit on here. Right, let's see if we can get that on now, if I can find it. It's done a runner. Come on, where are you? Where are you hiding? God, it's disappeared. Ah, it's because it's see-through. Right, let's get that over the top there. Ah, look at that, lovely. Right, that's gone right down the tube now, so then we can just push that back where we want it. So washing up liquid, the old green stuff, I've got Magnum Premium. Ah. So yeah, that works wonders. So let's get this soldered in now. Once I go and wash my hands, otherwise I'll be putting washing up liquid everywhere. And then we'll test it out. Right, so that's the mic plug done. Let's put it back in the checker and we'll see if that's made any difference. It's almost like it had a bit of a dodgy connection on it, so yeah, it's definitely a lot more stable. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, happy with that. Right, 1 down, 2 to go. We'll give this a bit of a clean up as well because it's quite dusty, and then we can put that one back in the bag. Dave's back on air. Right, the mic's all cleaned up. It's come up really well. Just went to take the battery out of it. I'm not happy with that screw missing from there. I've managed to find one that I think might fit. I'm just going to put it in now and see how we go. See if I can tighten it down. Hopefully that should sort Dave out then. Yep, that's gone in. Right, pleased with that, because that's how it should be, and you can't have that piece of metal potentially flopping around when you tighten up on that centre bit there. So that mic is done, and I'm pleased with that, because that now means it's at least got one working mic. But it's tidied up nicely, all cleaned up well. So that's all good to go back to him now. And it's all working with the nice little proper mic connector on the end as well now. So that one's done, so 1 down. Let's have a look at this one here with the label on it. No key up, no battery. Don't know what that means. So first thing to do is tidy up a bit here, because I've got... So there's the bit of paper. That's the note it's come with. No key up, no battery. So let's do what we did with the other one. Let's open it up. Hopefully all the screws are there in this, because I'm not sure how many of them I've got. Yep, this one's got all the screws in it. Oh, interesting. that might be something to do with it. Can you see here and here, there's like the mountings of the switch, but they're not actually soldered in. Let's have a look at this one. That might be why. That's the slider control. Yeah. So, looking on here, we have got this one and this one soldered in. On here, this one and this one are not soldered in. I have no idea why that would be, so I think what we're going to do is take this plate off. We'll have a look under here, but if the slider switch is not connected, that may be part of the circuit and part of the reason why it's not going. So I think the first thing to do is take all of the mounting hardware off the back. With the two little washers. All that there. Right, I'm just going to give this board an IPA and then we'll give it the once over. We'll see if there's anything looking untoward, but all I can spot at the moment is those two things there that are not soldered, but I don't know why they would have no solder on them. Bizarre. Right, let's IPA it and give it a quick going over. I'm going to have to get some more IPA at this rate. I'm running a bit low. Not too much coming off. Right, let me get the eye loop on it. I'll come back with any findings. Been over the board, all I can find is these two missing solder terminals. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I've checked the capacitors on the other side. None of them look circumcised, so they all look good. No burnt resistors. I'm going to, not IPA, I'm going to switch cleaner both switches again. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the connections for the battery terminal and just check we've got continuity on those. Let's do that now. I can't remember which was the positive one. I think that's the positive one, isn't it? Where's the battery? Positive, yep, that's the big one, and I believe that goes to, it's either, I think it's here. Yeah, so that's good. And the negative one, yeah, so the positive and negative battery terminals are working okay. Right, I'm going to switch cleaner and then I'll solder these and we'll put a battery in it and we'll try it. Just took the mic switch off and there's paper inside the mic key. Now, normally people do that to make the mic key push home further. I wonder if, because obviously this is the volume level of your outgoing mod, whether they were having mod problems, so they did that thinking that the key wasn't pressing in far enough. But it was, but the root cause of the problem is the fact that it's actually not soldered properly. So anyway, I've done all of the switches now and cleaned them up, so I think I'm going to put this back together so it's nice and firm, and then I'll solder those two terminals and then we'll see how we go from there. Right, both top terminals now soldered, so let's get a battery in it and test this thing out. What do we think the likelihood of this working is? Ooh. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 real squeal on it.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4.
Well, that seems to be working okay. I think what we're going to do though, we're going to check the connections on the mic socket, because we had the same problem before where they weren't very good. Let's have a quick look, see what's going on inside. It's worth checking everything while you're here. Otherwise it's not going to be right. God, these screws are not coming out. Must be about 2 miles long. Ah, that's got them. Alright, put them over there. Then have to use a little different screwdriver for this one. But this purple screwdriver I've got is perfect for these little minute screws. Yeah, no, connections look okay on there. I think that red one. Yeah, no, they look okay. I wouldn't change those. Cool, jeez. Right, get this back together. That's another one. So considering this one was no key up and no battery power, just by finding that joint where those two pieces weren't soldered together has restored operation of that mic. So I really don't know what was going on inside there at the time, but hey ho, we'll put this one back together. So that's 2 down, 1 to go. Right, we're on to the last one, the other one out the box. Oh, this one looks like it's got a battery in it. It's keyed up straight away. Some white tape everywhere. Let's try this one on the thing, straight off. Might be the battery's flat, but we don't know.
One two, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Well, there's nothing wrong with that one. That's probably the best one out of the lot. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2.
Right, we'll venture in, but this one seems to be the best one out of the lot, so I can't find anything wrong with this. But it doesn't mean there isn't. Right, let's venture in and have a look. Oh, he nearly fell over then. Try again. Okay, let's take this battery out. Not going in there with that on. Let's just check this battery power. Maybe it's got more on it than the others. Yeah, we've got 9.4 volts in that one. Oh, 9.4 in that one. So yeah, that's a good battery. So that is mine actually. I need to make sure that I keep that one as well. Right. Normal thing, we'll take the screws out, give the board once over, clean it all up, put it back together. I've got you out the stand. I'm not too impressed with some of the soldering on here. There's lots of potentially dry joints, and if I don't do them now, they're going to go dry joint, or they are dry joint. Also, this white wire that's connected here, it's almost like it's pushed through a tube of solder. So let me try and get some close-up shots, and I'll put them up on the screen and show you what I'm looking at. There was a lot of dodgy joints on here, particularly around this area here. don't know why that was, and then obviously I've done that wire over there, and then there was a couple in here running down the side of that wire. Very strange, but anyway, we'll get this all back together because this bit's now done, all switch cleaned and everything's good, and then we'll move down to the mic plug and just check the wiring on there. Well, I've just done a little bit of research because I opened this one up and the blue wire is cut and not connected. So starting at the top with the cutout here, you've got the common, nothing connected, the white and the red. The blue wire is back inside that sheath and it's cut. Now the other two had the blue wire connected. Now this, I've done a bit of research in the internet and other ones have been coming pre-wired from shops with the blue wire cut. So I'm going to go back to those other two and I'm going to cut that blue wire off. That may be something to do with the up-down buttons and it may be interfering, I don't know, but that's my plan. So the wiring on this looks really good. Can't fault this at all. So I'm going to put this microphone plug back together, go back in the other two, trim them, and then I'm going to retest them and see if they sound any better, because this one sounded the best and it had the blue wire cut. So I've just gone in and desoldered and then cut the blue wire to match the other microphone.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4.
Yep, that's what you want. The blue wire needs to be cut. So that's a good discovery. I didn't know that. So I shall do the same on the other microphone. And then we've got 3 out of 3, all 3 working microphones. And we're all done. Right, last one. So, quickly slide this out of here. Right. See, I don't use KPO 530. I use, I'm not sure if it's KPO or whatever it is. It's a DM something or other, actually. I suppose really I should do a video on the wiring for that and this. Then everyone's got mic diagrams, because there's not a lot of information around on the 6900N's wiring. There only is that one of the pins is known as the pin of death. If you wire your radio up incorrectly, you can blow it up. So you need to be extremely careful, hence my warning. But what is the pin of death? I have no idea. But obviously if you wire it up incorrectly, you're very quickly going to know, oh, I've connected to the pin of death. Sounds really bad, doesn't it? Right, let's get this off of here. Right, that's off. Can't pull that back any further, really. I'll have to just snip it there. As close down there as I can. I want to go a bit further back, really. Make sure it doesn't touch anything. I can't get it. Ah, look at that. There's a split in the side of there. We can get in there. Just want a tiny bit more of that off. Come on. Thing out. That's great. Right, all the others are still on. God, these sleeves are good because they protect your radio, but they're not good for taking the thing apart. Right. Oh, you gotta love these little screws. Oh, that's it. Right, let me get this back together. Okay, so this one's all back together. 1 2
1 2 1 2. Hello CQDX, CQDX. Well, that's nice and loud. That's a lot louder than what it was before when the blue wire was connected, so we'll definitely run with that. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. That's pretty much it from me. So while I'm talking on this, I'll say thank you very much. Any questions or anything, please message. Thanks again. 73s, 51s. We're gone. We're gone.